Good evening and welcome inside Birmingham Seaholm High School for tonight's clash between the Seaholm Maples and the Groves Gators. Girls Water Polo action here tonight on BACB Sports. Hello again, everybody. I'm Brad Fetters, welcoming you to tonight's coverage. And we start out tonight's coverage with the Seaholm Maples, the home team here tonight under head coach Abby Parsons. This team is locked and loaded, plenty of senior leadership, and they are off to a 14-6 overall record, including a perfect 3-0 mark in district play. Head coach Abby Parsons along the second member of our broadcast team tonight, Andy Aubrey, at poolside. Let's hear her thoughts on the season thus far and what she expects out of her team here tonight.
Well, thank you, Brad. I'm here now with the Seaholm head coach, Abby Parsons. Abby, thanks for taking a couple minutes. Let's talk about your team for a second. You're having a great season. 5th in the state, right?
Yep.
But let's have you go over what you told me a little bit earlier about, just kind of a synopsis of the whole year.
Yeah, our girls have set really high expectations for themselves. We've been ranked 4th in the state pretty consistently this year. We just played the 5th place team at a tournament this past weekend, lost to them by 1, so we just flip-flop spots with them, but hoping for revenge when we get to play them again.
Right, okay. Well, you got a great season going. Who've been a couple players have been really kind of standing out for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Our goalie, Maya Carr, has been absolutely phenomenal. She actually just got Player of the Week for our district this past week. Ella Gifford and Lauren Gregg are both very strong attackers on our team who have been playing phenomenally.
Okay. So now that we are heading in towards districts, does your practice routine change? What do you do to kind of get the ladies ready for this end-of-season push?
Absolutely. We do morning practices twice a week. We just finished our last one as we head towards postseason. So honestly, now that we're pretty conditioned, we start focusing more on tactical plays, a little less on conditioning, keeping that conditioning up, but not necessarily as intense, kind of tapering it back.
Okay. I saw you talking to the Groves coach over there, Jamie. How in the world can this be?
We play on the Masters team together, so we've actually played a lot of water polo together. We play over at Groves on Tuesdays, and so we know each other really well.
Yeah, it's funny, after these water polo matches, you see all these, I don't know who they are, community members, I guess, getting in the pool in swimsuits that they shouldn't be wearing, but that's another story. So we know the water polo culture is very strong here in Birmingham, and your team is exemplifying that. So congratulations on a good season. Keep it going. We'll be watching, and we'll wrap it up for right now, but send it back up to Brad, and we'll be right back with Jamie.
All right, thank you so much, Coach Parsons and Andy Aubrey. Now for the Groves Gators, the road team. They welcome in a fresh approach in first-year head coach Jamie Steinberger. Coach Steinberger was a member of the JV staff a season ago, so she is well acquainted with many members of this year's team, including senior captain and goalkeeper, all-regional a season ago, Ireland Kopch. Ireland's going to have her hands full here tonight against a very high-powered Seaholm attack, but Ireland Kopch will be the last line of defense for the Groves Gators. Once again, we turn our attention now to the pool level, where Andy's alongside first-year head coach Jamie Steinberger.
All right, Brad. Now we're here with Jamie Steinberger, who is the new coach of the Groves Gators water polo team. Jamie, welcome aboard. Talk to us about how you got involved in the program and your journey to becoming the coach at Groves.
Yeah, I coached with the previous coach, Claire Lasota, so I've been with the program since 2021 and was the JV assistant coach until this year, and just she was ready to move on and it was time to move up.
Okay, all right. Well, this year your team's doing pretty well. I mean, you're 10-1, and give us a kind of the bird's eye view of the season in your estimation so far.
Yeah, I think we have a really talented group. I think that the record doesn't always reflect the group as a whole. We have a lot of really talented players. Our goalie is our returning all-region player, so hopefully we can see her on that all-region team again. And a lot of really talented players in the center. We actually have a younger team. We only have 4 seniors, and one of them is a first-year player, so we only have 3 seniors on our varsity team. So really looking forward to being able to develop this group that's really a younger group for the next few years.
Right. Yeah, go ahead and give us a name or two. Who's been doing well for you this year?
Oh yeah, I think our three captains, Ireland Kopsh, our goalie, Bella Ruggiero is one of our centers. She's been doing great. Our other captain, Maggie Lucricchio, she's been doing fantastic. And then also we have some junior standouts. Allie Rowell is great in the center, loves to take a backhand. It's always really fun and exciting to see. And we have a great sprinter, a sophomore named Mallory Gherkin.
Okay. Well, we'll look for them. I'll kind of finish with this about your practice routine relative to the beginning of the year to now, where we are, which is kind of the end of the season. And does that change at all, or how do you run your show?
I think the girls would say I have not eased up. And they would probably wish I did. This year we've really emphasized conditioning. We're a small group, so you need to be able to play a whole game maybe without a sub, and so we've been working for that from day one, and it's great to see everyone come in and say, okay, who needs a sub, and no one says yes.
That's great. That's good. And we know how strenuous this sport is. We've been calling it for years, and there's a lot of exertion goes on in that pool during one of these matches. So it's good to have that type of attitude with the players that don't want to get out of the pool. So it's good that you have that team for you. But good luck. We'll wish you the best of luck. Thanks for taking a minute. And we are going to get this one underway right after this, so do not go away.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. But only you can prevent wildfires.
Nearly set to go. Gators and Maples here on BACB Sports. So glad you decided to tune us in. Brad Fetters along Andy Aubrey. Getting set for the swim off here, and we are good to go. The Seaholm Maples in their home maroon caps, Groves in their road whites with green numerals. It'll be the Seaholm Maples that have control of the very first possession of this game. 7-minute quarters. 30-second shot clocks. Comes into the whole set. Backing down the defender, trying to get something in on goal. Point-blank shot is good. First goal of the game belongs to Ella Gifford, Andy. She leads the team in goals this season. That gives her 59 now on the season.
Yeah, Brad, with numbers like that, you're not going to you'll probably see some more from her yet before this night is over.
So an early 1-0 lead for the Maples, opening possession of this game. See if the Gators can answer back. You met with head coach Jamie Steinberger. Seem calm, cool, and collected. It's a coaching staff, Andy, that are wearing bright neon green hats along with some fanny packs. I don't know, is it 90s night?
It must be. I'm liking the day glow. It's easy to spot them. I think they need to give a lesson to the soccer program, see if they can get some soccer balls, those colors. It's a very visual look. Definitely. And I don't know, Brad, that I've met and interviewed two more cool customers as far as coaches go in the high school ranks. These two ladies were smooth on camera.
We have two really good goaltenders tonight. Ireland Kopsh, who we mentioned at the very top of tonight's broadcast, all region a season ago. She is the main lady in net for the Groves Gators, and countering her in net for the Seaholm Maples here tonight will be senior Maya Carr. So Kopsh over to Isabella Ruggiero. Ruggiero on this near side being guarded by Layla Stevens. Fires it up ahead. 5:40 left to go. Opening quarter of play. 1-0 Seaholm in front. Wet pass. Lucricchio is going to fire it in on net. Not a lot on that shot. Easy save there for Carr.
And the interesting thing about water polo, I find, is some goals you just can't buy one. They would clang them off the crossbar. It just won't find its way into the net. Other times, when a goal is scored, you think, well, that was easy. Why didn't they do that more often? I don't know. It's a fun and fascinating sport. It's fast-paced, and these two teams, I think, are pretty evenly matched.
Look out, point blank, too easy. On the man advantage, Mary Kluzik gives the Maples the early 2-0 lead.
Yeah, and Seaholm looks good. They look early on, at least, like they're comfortable in their own swim caps out there. And they're not fifth ranked in the state for nothing. They've amassed a nice record, and they have bigger dreams as the season goes on.
Allison Rawl has it, waiting for the official on this near side. Appears maybe we have a timing issue that needs to be corrected. Maybe the timeout situation as well. They right now have 3 timeouts remaining for Groves and 4 up there for Seaholm, so maybe that is the issue.
Home pool advantage?
Perhaps.
No, they're supposed to have the same number.
So we're trying, I believe that's the issue right now. And now the official on the far side of the pool would like the ball. Heads up, look out. Don't ask for it and then get out of the way.
Yeah, that's a referee that just came in from his good humor job.
You like the all-white outfit, do you?
It's all white. He needs to go white socks. I'm sorry, I'm going to call fashion foul
Faux
on
pas?
that. Yeah, because that is a clean look otherwise.
So we do now have 4 timeouts aside, so we are good to go there. It will be Gator ball, trailing 2-0. Sport of water polo, obviously played 6-on-6.
And meanwhile, the girls that are in the pool are just treading water with the classic egg beater style of leg movement to keep them above water's surface.
Water rugby, it was kind of referred to back in the day. You can kind of see that.
Yeah, I've got some facts here. We'll talk about them as this game goes on. But the one thing we have learned about water polo, Brad, is that it's a fast game, and there's not a lot of downtime to fill with fluff like there is in, I don't know, say soccer or baseball even.
So Lucrezio was trying to dive towards the net, got cut off. We had a common foul called against Seaholm. So possession here will stay with the Gators. A wet pass there by Gherkin from the near side. Now we're going to get an excursion call. Point blank, big save. Save of the game thus far made by Maya Carr. So Maples back to full strength after the exclusion call. That's Ella Gifford coming out of the box. Goes over to Avery Allen. Allen looking for that hole set position. The center over top the cage and out of bounds. So right now, majority of the scoring chances belonging to the Maples. They've cashed in twice. Nearly came away with the 3rd goal there. Except for a shot that clangs over top the post. Ruggiero over to the near side wing. Gherkin has it there. Extends the right hand. Fires a wet pass in front of the net. Easily covered there by the Maples defensively, and they shovel it over to Carr. Carr will help the outbreak here. Ella Gifford keeps the ball in front of her. All kinds of speed. Going to take it in all alone. Breakaway chance here for Gifford. Gets hauled down from behind. And we're going to have ourselves a penalty shot. Prevented the clean break in on net. Same as hockey. This will result in a penalty shot for Ella Gifford, looking for her 2nd goal of this game, looking for her 60th of the season. She nets it. She now has 60 goals on the season. What a number there for Ella Gifford.
Yeah, another day at the office for Ella. You can bet she knows where the back of that net is, and you don't get 60 goals without having a nose for it. And unfortunately for Groves, that they gave her that free shot, and it was child's play.
Miss Gifford plans to play club water polo at the University of Michigan next season. Along with leading the team now with 60 goals on the year, she also leads the team in steals. And kind of right on cue, the Maples nearly come away with a steal. Borovich had to pull up, flip the pass out, the shot clock running down. And not getting a shot there on net is really going to bite the Gators.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. That was like a clean breakaway, and she backed out of it.
Gifford, 2nd year as captain of this Maple squad. 2:50 left to go, 1st quarter of play. 3-0 Seaholm in front. Creating that separation. Look out, Gifford again looking for the hat trick. Way too easy right now for Ella Gifford.
Wow, it's the Ella Gifford show. She is putting on a clinic here. We're still 2 minutes and 44 left to go in the first quarter, and she is making that stat sheet look gaudy in her honor.
I mentioned Maya Carr, the goalkeeper. She too a second-year captain for head coach Abby Parsons. Coach Parsons, a terrific career here at Seaholm, 2016 graduate, member of the swim and dive team as well as the water polo team. Captain of the MSU team her senior year. They took first in the Big Ten, 9th in the nation back in 2019. So I wonder how that goes with Coach Parsons coaching Ella Gifford, who's going to be a soon-to-be Wolverine.
Yeah, that's you got to set that aside, apparently. But, you know, Abby was making me laugh earlier before we went on our interview. I asked her if, you know, it's a kind of a common question I've always asked friends, business associates, if they ever get back to their alma mater, and I asked her if she'd been at Michigan State. Ooh, off the upright. But she said, yeah, she actually went and played some water polo up there recently. And she said, I'm in the pool with a bunch of 19-year-olds, and she's not 19 anymore. I'm not giving her age. I don't know it. But, yeah, they were having, I guess, a field day with her. She tried to keep up. Oh!
Turnaround shot is good. Lauren Gregg. Captain Gregg, just a junior, so future bright for Lauren Gregg. As she really has opened up the scoring now. Gives the Maples the 5-0 lead now. Boy, Gators in trouble here. They desperately need a goal before the quarter break. Minute and a half remaining before set break. Look at how all five defenders converged at once. And it'll be a steal for Lauren Gregg.
Yeah, you can see early that Seaholm's defense is very responsible. They've converged.
Stifling right now. Wet pass over to Kluzik. Kluzik can't find it. This is a physical contact sport. Want viewers to be well aware of that. Off the post. Gathering up the rebound once again. Gifford, look out. 4 goals now in this game for Ella Gifford.
Yeah, this is an avalanche right here. We're not seeing a lot of pushback from Groves, and well, they're a young team. Both teams are really, actually, but Groves particularly is a relatively
Gators
young
going to take
squad.
a timeout. 2-minute full timeout. 59 seconds remaining in the opening quarter of play, and right now, Andy, they cannot stop Ella Gifford. They can only hope to contain her.
That's right. She is, as they say, en fuego. So, but. Well, we do have a minute to talk a little bit about this sport, which is, I wouldn't call it a niche sport, but it may not be as mainstream as, say, your baseballs and footballs. But one thing we know about some of these, the other sports we cover, like water polo, is their passion is just so real. Whether that's volleyball especially comes to mind, water polo is another one, wrestling for sure. But water polo is a fascinating sport. It's been... the women's game has been an Olympic sport since the 2000 Sydney Olympic Games. And it took some political protests from the Australian women's team, in fact, to get that pushed in there. So it's obviously now much more mainstream. It gets more popular every year. We've seen this sport grow. They say it's one of the fastest growing sports in the country, but it's not an easy sport. This is a sport where the polo player can swim up to 1.5 miles in one given game. And, you know, we talked earlier about the egg beater approach to this treading water system that they need to employ to be able to breathe, quite honestly. You got to keep your head above water. It helps to not be underwater all the time, but there is some rough play under there. We've also noted that in the past, that which you do not see, which is below the surface of the water, they can get a little rough. There's some kicking, some of it inadvertent. There's some gouging, some of it not inadvertent. And that is, it's all part of it. It's a pretty majorly contact-oriented sport. You talk about football and hockey and lacrosse even, but don't shortchange this water polo.
Nearly set for live action once again coming out of the timeout. Gators looking to cash in for the first time in this ball game, trailing 6-0 for Ella Gifford goals. A little skip shot, no good. Ireland Kops making the save. Uh-oh, look out. There's a turnover there, ill-advised pass, a little too far out of the reach of everyone. And Ruggiero fires over top the crossbar. So a one-and-done trip there for the Gators. Seaholm will set up. See if they want to hold for one final shot. There is a 2-second differential between game and shot clock. It's Gifford again got hauled down from behind. So there's some of those extracurriculars going on, and we're going to get an exclusion call now against Ruggiero. So the Gators will be a woman down here. They'll turn off the shot clock. So the Maples will for sure hold here for one final opportunity. With the advantage, they go cross pool with the pass. Into the hole set for Gifford once again. Dips the shoulder, can't get a shot off. Common foul. 10 seconds remaining. Shot from the outside. Easy save made. Over top the net. Buzzer will sound, and that will do it. First quarter in the books with the Seaholm Maples in front, 6-0. We'll take our first break here on BACB Sports. When we come back, the start of the second quarter of play.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
There's a look at senior captain Ireland Kops. Groves Gators starting goaltender. Here's the swim off now for the start of the second quarter of play. Once again, it's won by Ella Gifford. Lauren Gregg possessing it now. Goes over top the defender there. Olivia Dresden, not much she could do. Nice job getting back. Check that. That was Lucrecchio defending there for Groves. Oh, perfect pass. Not a lot on the shot. Maya Carr making the save. Ruggiero. Gifford. 2 11s in the pool for each respective team. Borovich has it now, waiting for some trailing teammates, and then the double team came, and Ella Gifford with the steal. Gifford and Gregg combining for that takeaway. Avery Allen has it now, center of the pool, takes a little bit of a bump. Comes over to Lauren Gregg on this near side. Gregg extends away from the defender, goes up to the top at the point position for Avery Allen. Floats a pass over to Olivia Dresden. Dresden called for it, tried to go over top. Knoper there, and Knoper has the steal. 6-0 Maples in front of the Gators. Cross pool toss, Borovich has it. Scans the offensive zone, was trying to get it to a cutter, nothing there. Easy steal for Avery Allen, swims it right down the middle of the pool. Guides the pass over to Ella Gifford. Whoa, she put her defender in a blender. And that's the goal. Whoa, Ella Gifford, have yourself a night. 5 goals.
Yeah, this Seaholm team looks like a well-oiled machine out here, and if their record's 14-6, I'd be curious to see who were the 6 teams that beat them, because they must have some serious talent.
Claire Peters has it, being harassed by Lauren Gregg, and we're going to get a turnover there. Now Gregg gets hauled down by Peters, took her underwater. Common fouls the call. Defense able to get back for the Gators. A little bit of a tough break for the Maples, but Use the rules to your advantage. Claire Peters, junior, really being physical. Long toss over top the net there by Avery Allen. Kopsch will put the ball in play. Long outlet pass to Borovich. Borovich has it. Even the passes have been difficult this evening for the Gators, and we'll get another steal. Avery Allen. She leads the team in assists, coming in tonight with 27.
Yeah, Groves has had a tough time motivating and manufacturing anything offensively here. And you got to credit Seaholm's defense for that. A number of plays, they just converge. You can see it.
A little bit of separation, long toss. Hits that sort of 90-degree spot where the crossbar meets the post. And Gators playing with fire there defensively. Don't get burned. Gherkin on the near side. Had it stolen, but they're going to say the defender stepped through. That was Gifford. Gifford the aggressor here, obviously, tonight. Borovich. Cross pass. Whoa, that was a beautiful pass. And a point-blank shot and a goal. Elizabeth Knoper, the junior.
Yeah, it's another one of those non-seniors. They've got a lot of them on Groves, and the future is promising with that said for these Gators. But good to see them get on the board. I'm sure that'll let them breathe a little bit now, but maybe give them some motivation, a little momentum going out of that goal.
So after being held scoreless in the first quarter of play, the Gators come up with their first goal of the game. What a pass from this near side. Going cross pool with it and finding Knoper. Allen. And that's not the person you want to turn it over to. As Greg is going to find a wide open Avery Allen, and been a lot of easy goals tonight for the Maples.
Yeah, it was just a point blank shot. Too much wide open net there, and you know, as a goalie, you can only defend so much of that territory, and she had absolutely nobody between her and the goal and made good on it.
Clock stops for the reset. 3:33 left to go in the first half of play. Maples out to a very comfortable 8-1 lead, and another turnover, unforced error by the Gators. Ducking under, trying to come center, and we're going to have a turnover there for the Maples. Ruggiero has it. Ball extended using her left hand. We know how dangerous lefties are in the game of water polo.
Yeah, the left-handed player is a very coveted asset.
Locricchio has a teammate on that far side. That's Coleman, Peyton Coleman. Going to get a foul call. We're going to get a penalty shot here coming up for the Gators. It'll be Peyton Coleman, the sophomore, to take it. Big opportunity here for the Gators to cut into this sizable Maple lead. Can Coleman pay it off? Coleman waits for the official's call, gets it. He's telling her to go. He's telling her to go. She can go at any point. Nope, there we go. And skips it wide. Had to make sure we were lined up properly.
Yeah, there looked like a little bit of a uneasiness out there for that particular penalty shot.
Harper Marsh back to Allen at the point. Goes in the hole set for Lauren Gregg. And there's an exclusion. That is what Gregg's game is all about. She gets the kickouts. She has drawn the most of anybody on the team this season with 48. Just got another one there. So we'll have another timeout called by the Gators. They want to set up shop defensively, as they know they have an exclusion penalty they need to kill off here trailing by 7 goals. 8-1 our score, 2:46 now left to go in the second quarter of play. It is a full timeout, a 2-minute timeout.
If you love them enough to relearn math so you can teach them math, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Welcome back to live action. Coming out of the timeout, the Seaholm Maples will have the swimmer advantage here, operating 6-on-5 after the exclusion call on the Gators. Setting up shop offensively. Playing a little game of keep away right now amongst the wings. Avery Allen goes up top. Ella Gifford kind of out of position. I wonder if this is perhaps just a strategical choice here by the Maples. Ella Gifford kind of has been in that hole set. She scored the majority of her goals from that hole set position. They got her out on the perimeter now in kind of a point position. So with a 7-goal advantage, Gifford maybe perhaps working on a little bit of a new position. Or maybe she's just so darn good, Andy, she can play multiple positions, and I have no idea what I'm talking about.
No, I would never suggest that, Brad, ever, not once. But maybe Abby's giving somebody else a chance in that coveted hole set position. That's possible.
Kapsch making the save there.
I mean, her personal stats couldn't get much gaudier, so, spread the wealth around a little bit. Who knows?
Look at that defense. Ruggiero is kind of stuck. And there's a clean steal. Avery Allen once again in on the breakaway. Allen pulls up. Allen again swims in a little bit deeper. Dekes out. Kapsch and fires it home. Maples, like a well-oiled machine. Was that the verbiage you used, Andy?
I used runaway freight train, as a matter of fact. Is how I described their choo-choo, right? Yeah, exactly. 9-1. We ain't even seen halftime yet, folks. This is very one-sided at this point. But
see, Ella Gifford really owned that first quarter. 4 goals in the first quarter. And now back-to-back goals for Avery Allen. Adding goals by Kluzik and Lauren Gregg, and you're just getting production up and down this Maple lineup. Gonna go back to the outside, the point position. Allen dumps it down low. Lauren Gregg turns around from the hole set. Well,
yeah, Lauren Gregg's picking up the mantle here.
And you have 2 hole sets that are as good as Gifford and Gregg are. It's a luxury.
Yeah, it's got to be a huge comfort for Coach Parsons to know that she can switch these players in and out of these, critical goal-scoring positions and really not miss a beat, it doesn't look like.
Abby's the assistant coach for the boys water polo team. That's when Hannah Cole takes over. Cole plays second fiddle to Abby Parsons here for the girls team. So it's kind of nice to have that continuity amongst the coaching staff here at Seaholm.
Yep, and you do see that with the swim teams as well. They've done some musical coaches there over the years too. Both schools, really.
Another exclusion call against the Gators. Under a half minute now remaining in the first half of play. Maples 10-1. Playing a game of keep away now. Come over to the near side. Amanda Arcio. Cross pool pass in and out of the hands of Harper Marsh. Marsh tried to catch that one-handed. And a pass just out of the reach there of Hermanson. Hermanson's going to lose control and allow the Gators to go back to even strength. One final push here. Borovich, the sophomore, going to have to shoot. Gherkin Oh, no, Andy. They run out of time.
She must not have seen it was 3, 2, 1. She needed to take that shot. She was still about 20 feet out from the goal, but still had time to take a shot, and the clock ran out.
We will take a break here on BACB Sports. 1/2 of water polo done with the Maples in front of the Gators, 10-1.
If you love them enough to relearn math so you can teach them math, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Swim off to start the third quarter of play. Maples offensive explosion in the first half as they net 10 goals and lead it 10-1 over the rivals from Birmingham Groves. Groves wins the swim off. They'll start with the opening possession of this third quarter of play. Brad Fetters alongside Andy Aubrey for BACB Sports. Mike Kottmeyer, our director tonight. Big thanks to our hardworking BACB Sports crew bringing you the sights and sounds tonight.
And Brad, it just seemed like every time Groves mounts any kind of a offensive push, Seaholm's been right on it.
The two teams trade ends. Kind of a little bit of a wrinkle to the sport of water polo. They don't trade ends every quarter. It's just the trade of the end during the half.
And they trade benches too,
which is
very unusual.
They used to do it in volleyball, if you remember correctly.
Yep.
They don't do it any longer. Well, maybe they do, and it's just kind of up to the coaching staff. But
it just seems funny to see everybody gather up their towels or their belongings, and they trudge over to the other side of their other bench.
Obviously, the bench is on your defensive end. Cross pool pass. And right now, there's just really no room to operate for the Gators. That's kind of my observation. It's such a stifling defense as they do get the shot off before the shot clock expires.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been a very restrictive, kind of stifling defense that Seaholm's employed here. Their offensive explosion notwithstanding, they've just played a complete game over here, but the defense has been the one.
There's the left-handed shot. Sophie Lair.
Right, yep, and Brad, we mentioned that. That's a coveted asset to have as a left-handed player. It's a weapon that, much like a relief pitcher, any pitcher in the sport of baseball, that's lefties are highly valued.
Except for the quarterback position.
That doesn't seem to work as well.
The ball spins the other way.
They say that that's a tough catch for wide receivers.
Maya Kiar outlets it. Layer, the most recent goal scorer, into the hole, set position, quick turnaround shot. Amanda Arcio. So head coach Abby Parsons bringing in some new, fresh players into the mix here to start the second half of play. Under 5 minutes left to go. Boy, oh boy, just quick reaction of Seaholm leads to that turnover, and it's kind of set up there by Sophie Lair. And this has been a really nice start to this quarter for Lair. Just a sophomore. Lair has the ball on this near side, being guarded. Right now, Gators playing pretty much straight up man-to-man defense. Shot sails over top the crossbar. Will be put back in play by Erlen Kopsch. Mentioned at the top of the broadcast as she turns it over. Kopsch has to retreat back into her goal crease. Look out. Lauren Gregg all the way in. And will not be denied. Third goal of this game for Lauren Gregg.
Yeah, that
5 straight now for the Maples.
That was an easy one, just a quick little double clutch, and she went far side. No problem.
So the Gators' lone goal pulled them within 6 at 7-1, but as I mentioned, 5 straight now for the Maples. Ooh, post knocker. Allison Rawl
And Groves has hit some posts, so they've been around the net. They just have not really succeeded except for that once and getting one in the net.
Dresden finds Kluzik. Kluzik had a first half goal. Wet pass. Turnaround shot. Save made by Kopsch. Kopsch outlets it to the near side. Creekio loses a handle. There's that Layer defense. Now Layer's going to get called for a little common foul, and so I have to create some separation before we can play on. And Falcons waste an opportunity there. Now a turnover whistle away from the ball that time. Referees have been busy here tonight.
And the referees switch sides too. I'm not sure if you noticed that. So that's they really switch things up in this sport.
You don't want one referee to get the brunt of the coaching abuse the entire night, right?
Yeah, because the one, of course, is right between both benches. So, you know,
he's hearing it all, right?
Yeah. Right.
And we know the best coaches in the world all work the officials.
They sure do.
At least they should try, right?
Yep.
There's a turnover. That was just good rough defense, I'd say, by Elizabeth Knoper. Knoper's got it now. That pass unable to connect. Was looking to get it over to Ruggiero. There's Layer again. Oh, that's a pass right on the dime to a diver. Oh, off the post. Layla.
Yeah, she went short side there. Might have had a little better success going the far side, but
that was a nice pass. Knoper trying to back down her defender. Gets the call. Another wet pass. Creekio. No one in particular, kind of threw it to a spot. Rawls going to try to win that battle, and she's going to be successful. Going to call a common foul there on the Maples, and now this pass comes all the way back. I don't know. 2 minutes left to go in the third. I don't know if that was the spot you wanted to throw that ball backwards. You mentioned some of the youth and inexperience in this Falcon lineup. And now we're going to get a timeout called by Seaholm. So, Andy, I think you have come prepared here tonight with some interesting water polo facts.
Gobs and gobs of information, Brad. Some of these we've touched on in years past, but we have new audience, so we can bring them back up again. One is the fact that, and remember the Jamaican rapper Sean Paul.
Who could forget Mr. Sean Paul?
Sean Paul, a member of the Jamaican national water polo team between the ages of 13 and 21. How about them apples? So, but he broke that all off at 21 to pursue a music career and has been, I think, by most standards, well-known rapper.
Is this a Sean Paul song playing over the loudspeaker right now?
No, it's Ed Sheeran.
Oh.
But close. They're very similar. Very close, I've always mixed those two up, by the way. No, Sean Paul's been around a while. He's a 40-something, I think, at this point. Ed Sheeran, I don't know if he can swim, let alone play water polo. I've never asked him, so who knows. But we did talk about the women's game being, and look at the sun streaming into the pool right now, by the way, that the women's, USA women's water polo team has medaled every year, either gold, silver, or bronze, since water polo was instituted in the Olympics back in the year 2000. So the women's national team is strong as ever, apparently.
There's a good look at that sun streaming in, and
we should see a rainbow, right?
It was a little iffy this afternoon and evening in terms of the weather forecast. When I think of water polo, I typically think of like the California schools, the UCLAs, the USCs, the Pepperdines of the world.
Yeah, right. Yep, Stanford. Anybody West Coast, Cal, they've had some good programs over the years.
So it'll be Maya Carr to put the ball in play. Under 2 minutes now remaining in the third quarter. 12-1 our score. Seaholm has flexed their muscles throughout tonight's game.
Yeah, this has been a whooping here.
Gherkin and try to mount a bit of a comeback here for the Gators. Lacricchio goes over to Coleman, sophomore. Has the ball knocked out of her hands, able to retreat and grab it. A little bit of a balk there, the head fake. Foul away from the ball, and it's going to be an exclusion call against the Maples. And a shot was blocked there defensively. Whoa, boy, a little bit of an aggressive head grab there. I think that was Sophie Layer with the block shot. I don't know if that quite reached goaltender Maya Carr.
No, I don't think it made it through. And then a little bit of frustration after that.
Ruggiero just kind of grabbed Layer by the head. That's kind of been this matchup right here between those two players that has created some of that frustration. We now have under a minute left to go in the third quarter. This quarter is breezed by.
Well, we say that every time we call water polo, it seems like. Compared to the other sports that can go on seemingly for hours, we get through these water polo matches in the blink of an eye by comparison.
Well, the shot clock obviously helps. But the running clock also helps big time.
Yeah, so do the length of the quarters. It's a quick game.
This would go a long way. Borovich shovels it back. Gherkin looking for something. Finds a teammate. Shot from the outside. Save made by Carr. Now the Maples will hold for one final shot. Just 2 goals in this quarter, both belonging to the Maples as they've extended their lead to 12-1, and they will fail to get off a shot here in the third quarter. So 12-1 our score. It's going to have to be one heck of a comeback here tonight for the Groves Gators. We'll take one final break here on BACB Sports. When we come back, the start of the fourth quarter of play.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
One final swim off here to start the fourth quarter of play. Just 5 minutes put up on the board here for the fourth quarter. 11-goal lead for the Maples. Ruggiero. Gators lefty. Trying to scan the offense. Goes with the hook pass. A la Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
The sky hook.
Maya Carr just steady Eddie back there is the last line of defense this evening for the Maples.
It's almost seemed like Seaholm has an extra player in the pool for this one. And they're skilled. They seem like they have a size advantage, and it's been one-sided since the beginning.
Avery Allen's going to reset the offense. The pass to the perimeter, long-range shot clanks off the post. All Maples all the time. They had a 7-0 lead to kick things off. Gators' lone goal of the contest was scored by Elizabeth Knoper. Made it 7-1, and 5 straight goals now for the Maples have extended the lead to 11. They lead it 12-1. We're going to get a timeout here. We had an exclusion call against the Gators, and head coach Abby Parsons is going to take the timeout. She can't take it with her, so she will call it. And we'll set up the offense. 18 seconds on the exclusion call. 28 seconds on the shot clock and 3:51 remaining in regulation. It's quite the look. I don't know if
the green shirt, the kind of the
we even got the heads the thumbs up from head coach Steinberger there, almost on cue.
Yeah, it's distinctive. It does make you wonder what's going on with those fanny packs. I mean, there's car keys. Is it their wallet, or they got a phone in case they need to take a call during the match? What's going on there?
I think there's probably snacks.
Maybe it's snacks. It could be that.
Snacks inside the fanny pack.
Oh, yeah.
Now, if you had a fanny pack, what would you keep in your fanny pack?
Oh, I'd rather not say.
Oh.
I mean, the things I mentioned, probably
wallet,
a granola bar, some
trail mix,
something like that. Yeah, your keys and phone, and
now in your trail mix, do you like chocolate in your trail mix?
Yeah, I generally just eat all the M&Ms out of it. And
me too.
Throw the rest of it
It
out.
really doesn't make a trail mix at that point. It just makes an M&Ms, right?
I cut out the middleman and I just get a bag of M&Ms. Yeah, for sure. But no, you're supposed to eat the nuts. I think there's protein involved. So
the timeout nearly over. Maples will be able to go 11 goals, looking to add on with the exclusion call. The swimmer advantage here, a little 6-on-5 action. JV game will follow this varsity contest. That makes it really nice for us.
In a way, it really does. And really, Seaholm can afford to just sort of milk the clock at this point, let it run out.
And that perhaps was the conversation they had during that timeout.
Their version of the four-corner offense going on here. Little North Carolina, Dean Smith.
Can you? I can't even imagine the sport of basketball without a shot clock.
I remember it, and it was boring. I mean, some of those teams had 10, 15 points in the first half of a game. It's ridiculous.
How far we have come, huh?
Yeah, we've definitely evolved.
Intercepts. Layla Stevens. The wet pass there. Ella Gifford back in. And Gifford looking to add on to her season total.
Yeah, that's just unfair. She's dominating.
I think tonight's BACB Sports Player of the Game is a fairly obvious one at this point.
We've had tougher decisions. Let's put it that way.
She has 6 goals now in this game. And that gives her 64 on the season. And what, 21 games? So roughly 3 goals per game. Wow.
Well, the way she scored goals in this game, it's amazing. She doesn't have more. It seems like she could have averaged 6 or 7 a game. I mean, she's dominant.
Hey, Ella, are you any good at water polo? Yeah, I average a hat trick a game. Those are like Gretzky numbers, right?
Yeah.
Ovechkin-esque numbers.
Exactly. She's the Wayne Gretzky of girls' high school water polo.
Yeah, well, so Ella, you must just like only score goals. No, I also lead the team in steals.
Yeah. You know, two-way player if you need me.
Maya Carr hasn't been very busy. Has 2 shutouts and a save percentage of over 70. She's padding those stats here tonight. There are 2 minutes left to go. 13-1. Baker's dozen here for the Maples. What pass? Kicking motion there, trying to create the separation. Nothing available. Going to get an exclusion call though. And Maples wasting no time. That's the difference. There really hasn't been any sort of hesitation tonight for Seaholm. They get the ball back and play quickly.
They're very resolute in their approach. It's always push, push, push.
Capsh had to make a tough save there. Breaking out. And another goal. Harper Marsh. She gets on the score sheet for the first time here tonight. Maples add on the extra point, lead at 14-1. Maples will empty their bench, bring out 3 reserves. A little bit of a shorter bench for the Falcons, just 3 reserves tonight. Ruggiero. Time for a couple more possessions, and that will be it. Maples will improve to 4-0 in district play, 15-6 overall. Maya Carr again. If it wasn't for Ella Gifford's explosion of offense, all these goals she scored tonight, Maya Carr could easily be player of the game as well, just giving up 1 goal here tonight.
Yeah, she's looked sharp. She has, aside from that 1 goal, which was, somewhere sort of an aberration in the big scheme of things.
Ruggiero just called for that exclusion, and she's got a different gear to her on the defensive end of things. As Maples will float 1 final shot attempt in, and that will do it. Your final score here tonight, 14-1. Just a total team effort tonight out of the Seaholm Maple Water Polo squad. They led it 10-1 at our halftime break, added 4 second-half goals to take it 14-1. Maya Carr solid in net, but really the story here tonight was the play of senior captain Ella Gifford. 6 goals tonight. Will be our BACB Sports Player of the Game. Andy, I know you're going to go down poolside to gather that interview with Miss Gifford. Your final thoughts here tonight? Yeah,
this game spoke for itself, Brad. It was all Seaholm all the time, and Groves put up a gallant effort, but again, Ella Gifford's was just a one-player wrecking show out there, and the scoreboard reflects that with a 14-1 Seaholm victory.
One final TO here on BACB Sports. When we come back, our post-match coverage, including Andy's Player of the Game interview.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. But only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back one final time to Seaholm High School for our post-match coverage. Once again, your final score 14-1, the Seaholm Maples over the Groves Falcons. Let's go down quickly to Andy Aubrey, who's alongside our BACB Sports Player of the Game, Ella Gifford, who had 6 goals in tonight's contest.
All right, Brad, thank you very much. We're here with our Player of the Game, BACB Sports' very own Ella Giffords. Ella, what a game. 6 goals for you. How many times have you scored 6 in a game? More than you can count, or was that a highlight game for you?
Definitely a highlight game. Doesn't happen every day, I can tell you that.
Yeah, right. How good does it feel, though, to beat the Groves Gators, your rivals?
Crosstown rivals, yep, you're right. Really good, and our team's been putting in like a lot of hard work, so it's really good to see it paying off in games. So.
Yeah. I mean, tremendous. We noticed how strong you are, not only offensive end, your goal scoring outlines that, but defensively, you and your whole team is very responsible. A lot of converging on the ball when they did have a chance. Are those types of things you've just been working in practice, and Coach Parsons really drills into you because it's working, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would say practice, like how you play. So we practice defense and offense pretty much equally, just to make sure that like every aspect of our game is almost perfect. Well, that's the goal.
Yeah, it was darn near perfect tonight. Now, you're going to Michigan, is that true?
I am, yep.
How did that come about? What was the process like?
I was considering playing water polo, and then I just was looking into good schools. They do have a water polo team, but I decided not to. But I am planning on playing club water polo there, so I'm really excited.
Okay. And Coach Parsons also mentioned that you're in the Olympic development program too. Talk about that process a little.
So you have to try out, and then you go to, like, they cut it down to 2 teams, and then they cut it down from there to 1 team. And then I got to go to nationals with my teammate Lauren Gregg over winter break to play some water polo.
Okay, where's that at?
Utah.
Wow, no kidding. That's fun. Okay, well, we'll be watching for you. And go blue. I don't know if you've been practicing your, Hail to the Victors or whatever, but you're going to get a lot of that when you get to Ann Arbor, I'm sure. So congratulations to you and the Seaholm Maples. Outstanding effort tonight. The scoreboard broke, okay? That's how many goals you folks had. So good on you. Congrats again. And we're going to send it back up to my partner, Brad, who's going to take us on out of here.
All right, thank you so much, Andy. Terrific interview as always. Really a nice job by Ella Gifford, not only in the stat sheet, but with that interview as well. We wish her plenty of good luck at U of M next season and at the Olympic trials. Well, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank our hardworking BACB Sports crew. Terrific job once again in providing you the sights and sounds as the JV game has just kicked off here. You're seeing that in the background. But once again, the final score, the Seaholm Maples 14, the Groves Falcons 1. Thank you so much for watching this BACB Sports production. We'll see you next time.